first we come to the interesting part of viewing the recently concluded World Championship finalists, final winner. As for the information of the guests, maybe the new Toastmasters, 16,000 plus clubs are there. Every club conducts the contest. And then the club to the area, the division, the district, and then the region is done by video judging, and then semi-finals and finals. It goes up to this. So in finals, there are 6 persons who fight for the top parts, and the person who won is Toastmaster Beverly Adams. We are going to So we are going to view that first. After that, there is a panel of 4 people from our club who will be sharing some thoughts on the speech. So let me invite for the viewing all of you. Toastmaster Surya will distribute the judging forms to anybody who is interested. You can also judge in your own way what the scores you give, then see the opinion doing it. I request John.
Aaron Beverly, an unbelievable story. An unbelievable story, Aaron Beverly.
The contest chair was relieved. My title is only 3 words long. But friends, why is this story unbelievable? June 2018, I fly to India to attend the wedding of my friend Brandon and his fiancée, Devika. Brandon and family are white, Devika and family are Indian. And I am the only black man there. I can't help but feel different. But I try my best to blend in. I buy formal Indian wedding attire. What do you think? I even participate in a sacred Indian wedding ritual, protecting the groom's shoes. During the car ride to the wedding, my friend Sunit explains this ritual. When Brandon takes off his shoes during the ceremony, Devika's bridesmaids will try to steal them. The groomsmen protect the shoes from the bridesmaids. If they win, they hold the shoes ransom, forcing Brandon to buy them back. It's a game, Sunit says. I think it sounds like a spy movie. Sunit says, Aaron, the bridesmaids will try sweet talk, they will try deception, but don't give the shoes to anybody. Will you accept this mission? Quick fact about me. When I am given a mission, I take it very seriously. I look at Sunit and I say, I accept the mission. At the wedding ceremony, Brandon takes off his shoes. I swoop in, grab the shoes, sit down in the front row. Smooth, stealthy. I feel like a black James Bond. The leader of the bridesmaids walks over. She smiles at me. But gentlemen, have you ever seen a girlfriend or wife smile, yet at the same time, you just felt scared? I call her the ominous smiler. She says, Aaron, you look very handsome today. I say, thank you. Could you pass me Brandon's shoes? No. Sunit said the bridesmaids will try sweet talk. Don't give the shoes to anybody. But Aaron, she says, that's against Indian tradition. When I hear that, the global ambassador within me gets nervous. I don't want to cause an international incident over a pair of shoes. I can see the headlines. Idiot ruins wedding and India-U.S. relations. I almost hand over the shoes, but remember Sunit, they will try deception. Don't give the shoes to anybody. I say no again. Then the ominous smiler, she moves closer. She says, and I quote, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. But you will give us the shoes. I am now scared for my life at this wedding. However, I must protect the shoes, because when I have a mission, I take it very seriously. So, I curl over in my seat, I press the shoes against my chest, and this is how I watch the wedding for the next 30 minutes. The ominous smiler tries to steal the shoes, but I hold firm. Then she disappears for 20 minutes before taking a seat to my right. She says, Aaron, I don't care about the shoes anymore. You win. I say, do I look like a fool to you? But she doesn't move. I think I won. Sunit runs over. He's ecstatic. He says, Aaron, I'm proud of you. I say, thank you. You took this mission very seriously. I say, that's right. Now, give the shoes to me. No. Sunit said, don't give the shoes to anybody. The ominous smiler disappeared to recruit backup, and I know a traitor when I see one. Then the ominous smiler pounces. She starts pulling my arm. Sunit joins her. 2 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I hold firm. The other bridesmaids run over. 5 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I hold firm. The other groomsmen run over. I think, yes, the cavalry has arrived. But they join the bridesmaids. 8 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I hold firm because when I have a mission, I take it very seriously. They said, Aaron, just give us the shoes. I said, never! Keep in mind, the wedding is still going on. Devika's family is watching the ceremony as if nothing else is happening. I start wondering, is this normal? Then the ominous smiler signals the wedding photographer. And this dude is huge. He puts down his camera. Then he starts charging. He jumps on top of me. 9 versus 1. They pull, I pull, but I lost the shoes. Brandon paid 10 times what those shoes were worth. But what makes this story unbelievable is not the shoes, nor the events. It is the context behind that game. That game is designed for the families of the bride and groom to get to know each other. Which means that among white and Indian families, a different, lonely black man was accepted like family too. We experience so much divisiveness nowadays that acceptance despite difference seems unbelievable. But there are people who still believe in it. Do you? Open your culture, your mind, your heart to people who are different from you. Show the world that acceptance, despite difference, is not an unbelievable story. This is your mission. Take it very seriously. Contest chair.
I request the panelists to come and take questions. I hope many of you have used the sheet to mark something, whatever comes to your mind. You can compare notes. Are you ready now? Yes. All of you must have liked the speech, especially because of the Indian background also in that. So today, we have four panelists. Details will start giving his views. Timer 5 minutes maximum. So you can say 3, 4, 5.
Hi, good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. So, I would like to say the speech was something different, which I heard from recently, the recent World Championship speeches, due to 2-3 reasons. One thing I like about the speech is the ability of the speaker to take the audience with him. In the beginning itself, he made sure that audience were with him throughout the speech. If you look at the way in which he came to the stage and said, I was in an Indian wedding and he was wearing an Indian dress, and he opened his eyes and asked the audience, what do you think? You could hear the audience were responding with a loud cheer. So that made sure that they were going with him. The same thing was repeated when he asked, after some time he was showing the justice, like, I won't give the shoe to, then the response was coming from the audience. So in this way, I felt there are 2-3 occasions in which I felt that the speaker could carry the audience with him. The second thing was the dress, the Indian dress, because he was attending the context was an Indian wedding, so the dress was an Pakha Indian dress. So that brought a lot of conviction, because it was like we were attending with him in that wedding. He came to the state dress, and then the people were, and he asked, what do you think, and people agreed, and that brought the conviction to the story. So that was also the thing which I liked. The third thing was the humor which he selected. The humor was self-deprecations. Most of the humor was self-deprecations. So he guaranteed laughter. So that was the easiest way to do when we make fun of ourselves, people will laugh. So I think 1 or 2 occasions it was not that much, but still he ensured that the speech was, the laughter was guaranteed. And the fourth one is the amazing gestures and expressions. All of you agreed with that, right? So the gestures, especially when he said I was falling onto the shoes, we could even imagine, visualize that he was falling to the shoes. And then he said, while committing to Sun, he said, I will. That kind of gestures were actually bringing a lot of amazing moments and a lot of conviction to the speech. So overall, I felt the speech was a different speech. So there were a lot of points. So I should first go on. Excuse me, sir. So I should first go on the positives. Positives, right?
Already covered this.
Yeah, all right.
So leaders you want to like you are going to see the.
So these are
Would you
the.
like to tell us any where you can improve?
So that was the mainly I felt like around 80% of the speech was story, because initially we would be engrossed in the story, but I felt somewhere it was dragging. So the maybe less than 20%. So and that too he didn't have that much energy. I felt he just was having a phase of compassion, or just in very passive phase, and then he was giving a message, as if giving something after concluding a major part of something. And the message part was where he would have little more improvement would have been there. And some of the jobs where I feel felt flat may not work well, because that was not an international standard job. For example, you said the relation between the US and India would be affected. I felt it's not that much of the job which we like to hear from the international stage. And also it was a risky thing. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So also like so self-deprecation level of bringing like a black, and that was also risky. I felt. I mean, anyway, it worked. Yeah. He himself was saying about him that when like a black James Bond and all. Maybe some people would have felt it like I felt like a little bit disturbing, like when you hear something about that. So we didn't differentiate between James Bond as a black James Bond or white James Bond when he himself says, but I felt a little bit disturbed. So that could have been avoided. So the abrupt ending. Yeah, that I agree. But if I were a judge, I would not. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's all. No.
The second panelist is Toastmaster Bhavamurali. So he will give his opinion now. Again, 3, 4, 5 is the time limit.
So when I heard the speech of Aaron, it took me many years ago. I used to be in Delhi in 1999. So one of the things I really used to like doing in Delhi was attending a lot of weddings which were there. The weddings which used to happen, the North Indian weddings or the Punjabi weddings which used to happen in Delhi, were very different because I'm basically from South India. The way we conduct weddings is slightly very different, I would say. These are poles apart. So one thing I really used to like is these are elaborate weddings. Today nowadays in India also we see those weddings happen. Elaborate weddings which run for 4 to 5 days, where you have the Sangeet ceremony, this and that. Okay, and then you have all these things where the groom's slippers are actually. So when Aaron was narrating this, I could actually relate to that. I could actually connect to what he was saying. The fact that the Indian weddings are very colorful, very exciting, and something which people really look forward to. Okay, so when I was listening to Aaron's speech, most of the time, probably around 4 to 5 minutes or something, so I think this is all about Indian wedding. I never knew what was the message which was coming there, right? So his connect was amazing. So I thought it was like fine. I think he's going to say that Indian weddings are amazing. Indian weddings are very colorful, very exciting. Okay, but the message which came in the last 18 seconds, the last minute, was something which is entirely different. The fact that when you come to an Indian wedding, it doesn't really matter who you are, whether you're from different backgrounds altogether. But you can actually connect to the people, relate to them, and become friends with them, right? So some of the things I really liked about is the fact that Aaron was able to connect to the audience very well. He was able to really make the presentation very interesting. The presentation was really dramatic. The way he used his expressions, the facial expressions which he used, the terms which he used, where he stopped, where did he pause, all these things really matter, right? So I think other point which I would like to talk about here is what he really emphasized with diversity, right? One, you can think of it as a little bit of a racist kind of a thing where you say it's white, black or brown. The other way also to look at is there's an Indian bridegroom, an Indian bride, a white groom, and an African American friend. All of them come together. There's a lot of diversity which is there, and with this diversity is accepted. So on the whole, I think it's a very good speech.
So you think the message is about the diversity?
Exactly.
So towards the end of the story, suddenly he worked on the moral of the story, and then he told something.
Right.
But if you See, through the speech, he was emphasizing another thing very strongly. When there is a mission, I take it very seriously. He went on emphasizing, it looked like the message is going to be related to that. So it was a sort of decoy, and then in the end, suddenly he went there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, I could never really decipher the message to the last few seconds, or maybe the last 1 minute or something, because I thought the message was going to be very, very different. When he came up with that message, the message was very positive. But the fact is that I could never figure out that the message is going to be that. So that way I think there's a lot of excitement in the speech. The fact that you take it to a different turn or a different twist, which is something unexpected. I could, probably most of the speeches, when people give the speeches, we are able to actually decipher what the person is going to talk about, right? And what the message is trying to give here. Even the number one speeches all over the world. But in this case, I could not do that. So that is something to
Get us first, but there is a positive point and a negative point. Because if you don't bring it throughout, the focus and the emphasis will be very less. Only towards the end, suddenly you say that.
Right.
So the main story time you will not able to even guess.
Exactly.
But I feel there is another positive side of this message. In many of the recent speeches in the world campaign, not just the winner, the moral or the message or whatever it is sticky in context. Not a very general thing. Like you cannot say honesty is the message or something else. You go down, narrow down, small thing. For example, there was a tire changing fellow who said, you need help to ask for it. It's a very small area when think about it. But this one has become again a little larger because of our differences, divisiveness and that. Do you think this is a welcome change? Because from 80s to now, the trend has been going to narrower context in the message.
Okay. See, what we are saying here is the message comes very last, and you actually wondering why that there is no build-up of a message. In the sense that start giving the message in small portions, and then actually you have a big time kind of a
Lead to
meeting
that.
which is there. Which I connect. I think the emphasis today is more on storytelling there, and less on probably giving a message. I somehow feel the old tradition is still better because the message is there right throughout. If you want to talk for 6 to 7 minutes, the message is there right throughout. Why do you actually have to have the message only in the last minute? So, story is good, but the fact is that you have to keep the message also throughout this.
Friends, I got an announcement. There's a car parked on the road. CK4430. If anybody here, it has to be moved. Move it is. Because the next speaker will be Toastmasters Priya. You know what I say? You are not listening to okay. I did clear that way. I just left it. They sit in judgment. So
Only thing they cannot be seen by believing. Actually, they use.
I get your understand. First of all, I would say it this way: choosing a world champ speech based on wedding ceremony, I should say it was a final best move. I should say. I see this as a very entertaining speech, which had a good message at last. Now, first of all, I would like to thank Aaron Beverly for bringing Indian culture on international platform, and I think at last it was also a message to most of the Indians who didn't know what was the tradition actually talking about. Now, I'm asked here to talk mostly on his body language, vocal variety, and use of language.
and anything else you would like.
Okay. So I should say the best thing of this speech was definitely the body language, his expression, and the vocal variety that he had. Now, what was that body language? How was the story? It was a really very simple story. It was so entertaining. What was that which made it so extraordinary was the body language, the way he showed the story. First of all, the prop that he carried. What was it? The wedding gown. The prop itself set the mood, and then came the story which was revolving around this. Imagine he brings a ritual as a theme. Then there is a character, 5 characters which revolves around the situations. There is a conflict and the message. I must say it was a very smart thinking and with a good message, and it was definitely entertaining here. Now, what was the expression he had? Wow, I take my mission very seriously. Every time he did that, I counted at least he said this for 6 to 7 times at last. I was sure there is something connected to the mission he is going to bring up a conclusion. And yes, we got what the mission he was trying to portray there at last. I could see there was a thin thread to make. Initially, I was trying to understand what was he saying. There was a thin thread where he started saying, there is a white, there is an Indian, I am the only black. I felt I was not comfortable there because I was very different. He started with that statement. And at last, he concluded by saying, it was not a game, but ritual. You know, I was accepted. Though there was an Indian, white, brown, and black, I felt there was acceptance. So the whole theme was acceptance despite difference, was what he was trying to say. And he brought that in his story by saying how he felt accepted. And then he gave a conclusion, what is he trying to say? What is opening up your mind? What is he trying to throw out about the culture? So I felt that was very nice. Overall, when he was giving expression, you know, there was one which got maximum laughter. He said, how about a girl coming to you, you are smiling, at the same time you are very scared, you know.
Normally it happens.
Okay.
He said his wife only.
Including wife, you know, you are smiling at the same time you are scared. You know, what was that expression? It was very contradictory thing, but how beautifully he pulled it out. That's what we call as a very dramatic, but still being very natural. He showed he is the finest there with his expression also. Then it resembled Chris Tucker for me, you know. I felt he was close to that actor when he was bringing all that. Then comes the language. I felt he used very simple language. There was no quotes, no big lines or complicated sentences for us to understand. Very simple language with simple humor. It was the body language which really played a major role. Then coming to the conclusion, if there's one thing I see could have been changed, was definitely, as we all are pointing, is the closure, like the conclusion. It was like very fast. What he was trying to catch up was not very. But that is the cry of every nation. He tried to put it in every simple way. But even if I see today the person who got the video of the year, Taylor Swift, she also had the same message. Acceptance despite differences, what is the cry of every nation? And I think he looked around and he brought a script which really was in need of an hour. So it was a very intelligently scripted speech which was definitely needed at that platform because it's a very large audience. So lastly, what I carry home with this is, yes, there is culture difference which is separating people, but this diversity has to bring collective strength and bring change in the humanity. This is the loud message I got through speech.
Regarding the language, what you said about the language being quite easy to follow, I agree. But a couple of places where you tried the special effects are very detailed. So you got one is about the black James Bond, another is Eurasian language. Actually, this can be taken.
Let us see the
You
positive
can say
side.
there are some special highlight he tried, but this can be taken this way or that way.
Yes. Might be when he, by wearing the Indian gown, he won the Indian's heart. By talking about American as well as black, I thought he got the applause from both the sides again.
And the other thing, in the very beginning, I felt, in the first half of it, 1 minute, many of the time this was focused. Later on, he sort of moved into this. Initially, he was doing this like this. There was no specific purpose for him. Another thing, he was bent and then he said, do you think I am a fool? His voice suddenly became something different. I don't know whether he planned that, but it did look like that.
Also true. Yes. Throughout.
Okay. Thank you very much. The fourth member of the panel. Yes, you see, it's not a debate. Everybody is giving some considered opinion. Fourth panelist is Toastmaster Thomas. We're giving his opinion in general, but in addition, I have requested him to also do the judges ballot also and see where he scored best.
Yes, thank you very much, dear DGM, DGMOD. Good afternoon, friends. I've been asked to broadly say why he scored again with the judges. Simple answer, he was not. I'll tell you why. Normally, in a presentation, when you have a contest, you mask all your past glories of the contestants and the present standing. You don't even say DGM. What he says, first thing he says is, I'm sure the contest master is relieved. Why? He is telling people, those who are knowledgeable, including the judges, that in 2016 he came and he had 57 words in his title, topic, which had to be read out. And he came second. He was telling, look, I am pedigree. He's the only one who could claim having won the second place. Smart. Second, the attire. When everybody comes dressed formally to the stage for the contest, how do you stand out? Either you can wear outside what should be worn inside, as was done a couple of years ago, or you could go for a fancy dress kind of a dress. But what does he do? He takes the Indian dress on. Then, like Christ the Redeemer, he stands and asks the audience for approval. What do you think? Naturally flattered by being asked the opinion, they all roar saying, wow. That's where I think he got it. Also that, the first reminding about the 16, near-win. Third, he uses zips. Like metaphors are zips in my view. I was very glad you said that. South Indians don't realize there's a lot of games and plays going on in North India. This is one of those. A lot of things happen. So that is the context. In fact, he set the settings with just 4 words, namely sacred Indian wedding ritual. Clever guy. What is sacred about this? But you expect something to happen. What is ritual? You expect some drum beats and pots being boiled and somebody being brought in the African desert, African jungle. No, but you become curious. But he said, the infant Indian wedding is a popular phrase in the West. So all those imageries, those pictures, the noises, the sounds, the flavor, all that you get. So you are ready to consume whatever he says. Fourth, humor. Absolutely well said. If you notice, there are 3 phrases he uses 3 to 6 times. That's repetition. Every time something is placed in a mock important manner, it becomes more humorous. One, of course, is with an emphatic, don't give it to anybody. At the end, the audience owned it and they said it. Like kindergarten kids, happy that, they read out what the teacher wanted to say. Second was, when it's a mission, I take it very seriously. A silly thing like hiding somebody's shoes, that's the mock humor in it. And at the end, that becomes the message, the message, the mission he is passing on to the audience to reverse the current trend of divisiveness, of acceptance despite divisiveness becoming an unbelievable story. He says, make it believable. And I have a different view about the small message. I think it's brilliant. Why do you worry about the message? You enjoy the hilarious story. It was done beautifully. It was silly, but it was beautiful. And at the end, you're surprised. Just 7 sentences. It's almost like, race is a dangerous game. So he very carefully stepped, tip-top. On 7 steps, he told you the story. He told you the message. After allowing you to enjoy in a leisurely manner, and then suddenly he brings you. So to me, suspense was a brilliant thing. Why worry about, get burdened about the theme? Enjoy the jokes or the entertainment. At the end, be told what the message is. This is not my time.
If you don't have a build-up and go to that, the memory of the people will lose it faster.
Sure.
Suddenly, the story is enjoyable. The memory, the moral comes in the very end as a small capsule. So it is quite likely to be lost by people after 1 or 2 weeks or 1 or 2 months. The build-up is there, the whole thing will sustain.
It's a viewpoint. I believe that he did it so efficiently. Again, remember, race is a dangerous thing. Minimize your words. And he did it, He said, today, acceptance with divisiveness is an unbelievable story. It's your mission to reverse it. What word do you have to say? Actually, I thought it was delivered beautifully. Remember, it is not a crowd like this. It must be a spaghetti of crowd. Sugandhi might recall for us who were sitting there, browns and whites and yellows and greens, all kinds of people. So, it must have sunken beautifully there. And also, I must say, a black, what was the word used? James Bond. I don't think it's taken back. We are worried about how blacks see it. Black by itself is not a bad word. So I think they are comfortable under their skin, knowing what they are. So that's a little point there. But I had two little thoughts. I wish he asked me, and I would have told him, don't call that girl ominous smiler. You would call her something like Kaa the snake. Second, the first story went in a low gear, beautiful. The message came in high gear. There could have been a little more space between the two, so that you come out of the story, you are now seriously ready to listen to that. To me, that's broadly what it was. I think I've covered. And one more thing, if I may. See, stories have changed. It is not the old story about I lost my job and my girlfriend and I'm down the dumps and then somebody comes to help me kind of that was our usual inspiration story. Here, it's a here and now. Racial issues, divisiveness, migration. If you look at all the three stories put together, the last one is about a Chinese who is as un-Chinese as possible. He is going for the first time to China from America, from Australia. Second one, a Mexican. She is helping a European. Right? And here you have this. So I think Toastmasters stage has now become current. I'm very happy to see it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you saw the three people who were standing on the stage. It's almost like the Miss Universe. They make sure their colors are different. Same thing happened here. Kudos to judges.
Kudos to judges. Yeah. And they didn't probably observe this Miss Universe. See, in fact, I didn't see any of the others. I saw it once 10 days back. I thought
Sure.
So if you see all the 6 finalists speak, probably will be more confused. We might see every year they change. Some years it so happens one of them really stands out. Really stands out. There's no difficulty. But I don't know. So you were there at the time. During this year, the 6 finalists, was there a good spread out spectrum or everybody was close?
My personal opinion was observing the previous year's WCPS speech. This one did give me the goosebump. Okay, seeing a WCPS speech, and just to add on to what Thomas said, the story was beautifully woven. But then when he came to the message, he's like, "Oh, looks like I'm going to run out of time. Let me deliver the message and leave the stage." So it was not me. It was not that the finesse was missing somewhere.
But after hundreds of rehearsals, these people
No,
are
I mean,
it's not likely. Anybody else would like to add any point or a question, but strictly 1 or 2 sentences per head. Okay.
This first thing is this is an international speech, so they are going to win a competition, so it has to be marvelous. So there is no question that it is not a marvelous speech. It's definitely a marvelous speech. As the story was building, I was getting confused what would be the message. So as somebody pointed out, if the message could have been brought a little earlier, or could have been brought at a stage where you are building it up. Because what happens is suspense. After that, you get bored by the whole thing, and then you are not, and people are not waiting for that suspense. Now you need to make people wait for that suspense. People never knew what the suspense. So I would say that if you had brought in the reason why for which he is trying to tell the story in a subtle manner, at least in the central part, but if you would have waited for the message,
But
subtly, not
the
really
only
the message,
black,
but subtly.
I'm the only black is there.
No,
When you say discrimination and
Please quickly finish.
so I think that was the one point that I felt could have been done better.
In my personal experience and observation of all speeches, one common thing what I observed is generally people tend to say, what was their journey from point A to point B? So obviously people have moved from point A to point B in terms of wealth possession or knowledge possession or something like that. So they have gone through a transformation journey and they share a process, their own process, and they don't call for action and automatically audience get inspired. So that is the kind of formula I could find out. But in this speech, I could not figure out that. I am not saying that this is not an inspiration speech, but compared to the previous inspiration stories, that inspiration quotient was little less.
Anybody else? Quickly.
Yes, I think it resonates with what Toastmasters actually told last time.
So last week, he was mentioning about the human speech.
Adil.
So he told about WHO, that O means keep guessing. I guess it resonates well with that, and there is a twist at the end, and I think, that is what makes the difference.
Okay, thank you. Father, how is the overall time? Is there any time left?
Yeah.
2 minutes, 3 minutes?
5 minutes more.
5 minutes. Anybody wants to ask question to the panelists? No more opinions from the crowd. Yes. Want to ask a question? Yes.
See, in terms of remembering things, we have all talked about that the message was very short. But if you look into the whole story, it was delivered with, I can personally say because I saw that in my marriage and I have been from North, so I know what happens on that particular
Do
stage.
you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just elaborating it. So if you see that, all memory expert will tell you that you need to relate to something with some other parts. Now, this is a story that you will always remember. So now whenever you remember the story, you will remember the message. So the being it short does not come. And how do you relate to it?
Again, it's not thank you. Only questions, please, because we have to interact both ways. But
So my
initially,
question
yes.
is to Sunil. So he has broken the myth of this formula where we've been seeing earlier also. So that itself would have taken the thing. And my question is that, is it right to dissect the speech, not hearing all the other speeches? How did he fare well compared to the 6 people, isn't it?
No, but
So this, since you have heard it,
Yeah.
so your opinion on
No, I heard the 3 speeches and all the 3 unions. Compared to the other 2, it was standing out. Obviously standing out, right? Because especially with the gestures, expression, and the conviction. Actually, he took the audience with him. That was very clear from the beginning. And he ensured that in between he was making. It's like he's repeating like the class teacher asking the kids. You are making sure that you are all listening. You're all listening.
I have something to add. It is not necessary to compare and say. Because originally, Toastmasters used to strictly insist the judges should be individually, independently there, and then compare only the scores in the end. But now they are related also, because it's very difficult for the judges to do it. But if it's heard only this speech, we can still evaluate it, we can still judge it, we can still give our opinions. We can
not
do
for
that.
this
This is what we are
I
doing.
just wanted to know what would have happened at that point of time.
So one thing I want to add, what you said, this will be a different one, a different kind of storytelling. So here he used the story it was easy for the message to be communicated. Because the 75% of the speech was the story. So it was easy for him. It was in our memory, right? So when the message was delivered to the audience, we could relate back with the story part. So might be that is the tactic in place.
I have one question. See, the whole thing was a narrative, which in my opinion is not a great way to do it. It is probably one of the reasons of the Sundaram's point very small. And the main event is the shoe not being given away. I think the whole event is very small. It was being blown out of proportion by repeating it so many times and doing it. I don't think it is a very good trend to do. It may be smart, but whether it is good or
You are
not.
seen as a shoe.
So okay, let him take the prize. That's a different thing.
In
So
fact,
it's not
in fact, sir, he heard you and he said the story is not about the shoes.
Shoe. That's why I was
He told that, but it appeared like this to all the listeners. See,
He's like a magician,
he
sir.
is making a disclaimer because he himself had the misgiving.
It's like a magician, right?
No,
You
he had
see-
the misgiving, that's why he had to say.
Sorry, if I may, it's like a magician. You look at what is happening here, then something else is happening, he pulls it down. I think that's very smart. Again, why get burdened by
I didn't question about his smartness.
But why get burdened by the message?
See, the right point
Hear
you
it when you
raised-
need it.
Right point you raised about the shoes. The story is not about the shoes. Why he says is, he is quite suspecting himself that many of them will be misled in that way, the way he has taken it. Which is good.
Everything is changing.
Any other question?
Yeah, everything is
Last
changing.
one question. One question? Okay. Okay.
To all the judges, my question is, we've seen all these world championship speeches, right? So, one point that you brought out at this change over a period of time. What were these changes that you've noticed? And And in terms of the content delivery, in terms of the speech, in terms of the narrative, is there anything that you unique that you would see apart from, say, particular speech?
As an education program, you are asking.
Yeah, that was what I said. The story was taking the prime part of the speech. When because that Darren Lacroix, he was interspersing with the message in between. But here he waited until the story is over and then came the message. I think when everything changes in this world, even the way of communicating a message is also changing. From predominantly a serious topic, it comes to a story, and then we enjoy the story, and then give you the message. You take over the message. So I think that's a change.
I think what we'll say that you can add on to the speeches are also evolving over a period of time. Okay? So, we have been seeing speeches, the World Cup, World Champion speeches, last 5 years to last 7 years. How it has been given. So every time there's something new happens, people are a little uncomfortable. Obviously,
that's why it's their acceptance. So
exactly.
you understand the acceptance and accept it.
So when you do something different, obviously, there's a little bit of discomfort which happens in the beginning. And then after a point of time, people accept the fact that people are trying different styles or people are trying different things there. But at the end of the day, the point is that is the speech entertaining? Is the speech deliver what it was supposed to deliver? The way you have delivered it and the way you have structured the speech could be very different.
I am not comfortable with the word entertaining because there are many other possibilities. Anyway, I don't have time. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this session. It's not strictly dissecting, we are giving our opinion, giving a little judgment, judge type of role, evaluator type of role, all mixed up. I think we have done a good job based on that. I hope in this room there is somebody sitting who will become the champion the next year. Is there? Yes. Excelsior? Yes. Upwards is the only word in Toastmasters.